How to make money whilst you sleep. So I'm sorry to say, whilst you do think, and so many people do think this, that you're just going to come into property, set something up, and then have a little nap and make as much money as possible. It doesn't quite work like that. So property is a long-term game. And when we talk about passive income, what does it even mean? I've had property investors go, passive income doesn't exist. It's a fallacy. Well, first of all, what is it? And does it exist? First of all, yes. Kind of. Okay, that's not really a great answer, right? So I kind of think of property as a set it and forget it business. So if you are going out there and purchasing this property, and yes, I know everyone loves my artwork on here, and this happy house over here is going to be pumping out a load of money, right? On a monthly basis. So the monthly outgoings from this is going to be rent. So it might be, I don't know, 600 a month, 700 a month, or maybe even 900 a month. Who knows? But the house didn't just randomly pop up. What you've actually got to do is, number one, you need the money. So if you think an average property in my area is going to be £120,000, you're going to need to get a mortgage on that, so you need to be mortgageable. You need to take on the risk of the mortgage. You need to put in the cash. You're going to end up putting in cash on that of about 50 grand, by the way. Not the video to break it all down, but 30 grand deposit, stamp duty, refurbishment, etc. You're then going to have to go through 12 weeks, give or take, of the legal process, getting your mortgage broker involved. Then you're going to have to do the refurbishment, and you're going to have to hopefully have your builders turn up on time, actually get it done in price to the standard that you want, which, by the way, never happens unless you are on it like Sonic all the way through. And then you're gonna get Dave in there to rent it out. He's happy-go-lucky, he's got a roof over his head. And now you've got to hope that he actually pays you on time on a monthly basis, and hope that the house stands the test of time, doesn't get damp, leaks, broken windows, or anything else. Still want to invest in property? Well, it does get better, because the point I'm trying to get is that actually it's an active income, i.e. it takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of energy in the first place, and then it becomes passive income. So I've got a relatively large portfolio in the grand scheme of things, and I barely have anything to do with it. So that's why when I say passive, yes, kind of, is my idea of truly passive is you never do anything about it again. And there are some people that have this. Mariah Carey with her Christmas song, for example. I think she did that back in 2010, and she makes about £2 million a year today from that song, not doing anything. That's very much active and then passive, right? But in property, you still need to check in with things. But you make it more passive by having an agent involved, a management agent. You could make the purchase process by using somebody like APG, which is Aspire Property Group, my company, where we find the property, negotiate the property, get it through the refurbishment, etc. And that's probably as hands-free as it gets. But again, it very much is a set and forget model. Or some people like to say you have to work hard enough to not have to work hard. So there are three key ways of getting passive income from this or property. Number one is to create a business. So for example, I have a deal packaging business. Just in case you don't know what that is, you are in the middle, the property is on one side and the investor with money is on the other, and you introduce the two of them. Think of yourself as an estate agent, but instead of representing the person selling the property, you are representing the investor. So a lot of you will hear me say, hey, if you've got 100k or more and you want me to do the work, put APG in the comments. That is me attracting you as an investor to have a conversation with you to see if I can help you and facilitate your needs. So that's deal packaging. The reason why I use that term business though is deal packaging is 100% an active active income stream. Okay, it's an active income stream. You're going out there, finding properties, negotiating, getting told to fuck off on a weekly basis from your offers, getting rejected, going to viewings, getting it accepted, getting it through legals, getting finance in place, getting the refurb in place, handing it to the lettings management, which now I own a letting agency as well. So it sort of controls it a little bit. There's a lot of active time there. So why are we talking about being passive? Well, because of a business, if you have the right processes in place, if you have the right people in place, then things happen without you. For example, we get charged fees. So we charge you £6,500 per property to do all of that for you, right? Yesterday, I was on an academy day, so I've got a paid for educational program, and I was there all day. I've come in this morning, spoken to the team, and they put around £50,000 on the table in fees yesterday. Does it happen every day? No, that was a very good day. But the point is, that was passive. But it's taken time to build the team, invest into it, get the systems and processes in place. And again, it's become a set it, and would I say forget it? No, I still work very hard in the business, but as close to passive as I can currently get in that business. So option number one, build a property business. Number two is to outsource. So this doesn't really take long to explain. Basically, get other people to do it. Now, is this fully passive? No, but it really reduces your input. So again, we've got APG, Aspire Property Group, where we do this for you, but there are other people out there. A lot of my mentees do it. So if you don't want to use us, let us know. We can introduce you to others. But you have to bear in mind, there's sourcing the property, i.e. the marketing, there's negotiation, there's legals and finance, getting it through the legal process. Then there's the refurbishment. And then once you've refurbished the property, then there's management. And then within management, there's maintenance. So all of that is quite a long process and an ongoing process. And that's what we do at Aspire Property Group. So you outsource to a company like that. But you might end up going, do you know what? I'm going to source and negotiate, but I want somebody to take it from there. Or you might go, I'll source and negotiate, get it through, but I'm going to outsource to a project manager to get it refurbished. Or you might go, I'll do all of it myself and then get a lettings manager in play. It's absolutely fine, but I'm a big believer in your active income being as active as possible, i.e. there's nothing wrong with working. I work, I'm doing this YouTube channel, this is not passive, and I'm working hard for it, right? Active income is good. People knock it way too much. They say like job, J-O-B, and it's like, everyone's got a job. I've got a job, you've got a job, right? But I like my passive being as passive as possible. So you can outsource as much as possible. The reason why I say it's not fully passive, by the way, is you still need to sign the document here. You still need to say yes to the property. You need to sign off on the finance because you're taking on the debt. You need to sign off on the photos of the refurbishment saying that you're happy. And you need to sign off with the tenant that you're going to have in your house that they are making their home. But number two is outsource it. Again, that's what we do as a company, but you can get somebody else to do it. And then the third and final one is really going to be about your asset. So this is the traditional way of people making money from property. So there's multiple to talk through here. Like there's over 100 property strategies, by the way. Most people think there's only like 5 or 6, but there's over 100. Let's talk through 3 common ones: buy-to-let, HMO, and SA. So a buy-to-let property is when you rent out this property as a whole to Dave. He's pretty happy and he's going to pay you £700 a month. Right, happy days. So you get it on there. This is the most passive. So I'll put most there. Most passive because Dave moves in, the average person's going to stay in there for 2.5 years. They make your house their home and you make a load of money. Happy days. But you could say, actually, Dave, sorry, you need to leave because this is a 3-bedroom property and I'm going to rent it to Dave, Sarah, and Hannah. And I'm going to rent it out for £500 a room. So £500 times the 3 is £1,500. Now, you're going to have some costs. Normally in a HMO is house of multiple occupancy, by the way, you're going to pay for the bills. So any council tax, any heating, etc. So you'll net off that, but you're definitely going to make more than a buy-to-let, or you should. This is that mid-level management. Now, the reason I say that is, or midway for passive, is HMO managers are just not there in the market in most locations. Top tip with this, by the way, if you are going to go for HMOs, and similar for SA, which I'll get to in a moment, please make sure that you have a HMO specialist monitoring and managing your property. Okay, any management agents like, yeah, I do SA management, HMO management. No, they don't. Okay, find a specialist and they know about HMOs, and find out how they are actively promoting, because it's a lot harder to fill. Most HMOs, just so you know, over the long term sit at about 80% occupancy, so it's something to be aware of there. So that's a HMO midway. And finally, SA. So SA is called serviced accommodation. You might have heard it called holiday lets or nightly stays or holiday homes, whatever it is. And it's essentially, normally you have one person or maybe a family, Dave and Sarah and little Sprog, Dave Jr. there. And essentially they pay a nightly rate. So in general, let's say it's £80 a night. Typically, what you're aiming for is about 70% occupancy. Most of them, by the way, despite what your SA manager will say, sit at about 60% occupancy. Worth saying that. So you're going to get 60%. So let's say 30 days. Let's say 10% is 3 days. Times that by 6 is 18. 18 times 80, really testing me right now, is 1,440. First of all, I'm going to put least. This is 100% the least passive. Now, I know there will be one or two really good SA operators, and maybe you'll leave a comment right now going, absolute rubbish. I get 80% occupancy in mine, and it's always there, and I make loads more profit, and it's all outsourced. Congratulations, but you have to recognize you are one of the minority. I would say genuinely 95% of people make nowhere near the profit that they think they would, and it is so far from passive, it is unreal. That's not to say don't do service accommodation. I'm just giving it as 3 examples. I'll be honest with you, my preferred is this one over here. If you've watched any of my other videos, you'll realize that only about 30%, give or take, of your wealth comes from the cash flow anyway. So these extra minor top-ups just don't make a difference unless you are proactive in property and really scaling a portfolio. Most of the wealth comes from capital growth. As I said, a big belief of mine is my active income remains active and my passive income remains passive. So I like the fact with my buy-to-let portfolio, I genuinely can retire at any point I want and live off my portfolio. Don't worry, YouTube team, I'm not about to retire. All right, so, but it is about getting your passive income, and this, in my opinion, is the 3 ways to make money from property whilst you sleep. So hopefully that's been valuable. You'll notice I mentioned 2 things in here. You might be one of 2 people. You might be somebody that's got the money. You've got 100,000, a couple of 100,000. You want to build a portfolio, but you do want to outsource it. If that is you and you want to have a chat, by the way, just put APG in the comments, and what I'll do is the team will reach out with a link and we can book in a free one-to-one strategy session. And if it works for you, amazing, and if it doesn't, amazing. On the other hand, you might be at this stage where actually you know you want to build a property business. You don't just want to buy some buy-to-lets, you are obsessed with this stuff. It doesn't matter how much money you've got, we've got a range of programs for people. And if this is you and you want to get some paid for education from us at Aspire Education, just put education in the comments. Same thing will happen. We'll send you a link and we'll do a free one-to-one case study strategy session for you. So as I said, education if this is you, APG if this is you, and hey, if you're interested in both, put education plus APG and we can have a chat. As I said, there's no obligation, no hard selling. You can just have a chat with myself or one of the team and see where we get to. So hopefully that's been valuable. Have I missed anything? Are there any other ways to make money from property whilst you sleep? Let me know in the comments. If you did get value, it helps me out a lot if you just tap the like button, helps with the YouTube algorithm. And if you are new to the channel, you want to find out more about property investment, make sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you are kept up to date with the next video.